So here's the thing about songwriting. I signed up to do this You Have Until Lunch challenge, which, in case you've never watched one of these, means that I have 30 minutes to write a song, and you have to watch me write it. Which I don't know if that's of any interest to you, but here I am doing it. I signed up for it in May, and I've just been avoiding it. I attempted to do it one time, and then my 3-year-old daughter woke up from her nap early, and it didn't happen. And then I've just been feeling this, like, anxiety maybe toward it. Because songwriting is this incredibly intimate and vulnerable thing. When you do it by yourself, it is safest, it is most comfortable, it is the least risky. When you have a songwriting partner that you trust and you love, it can be fulfilling, and often the songs can come out better. And when you're being filmed doing it, there's this temptation to maybe do things that are unnatural to what I would normally do when writing a song. And that way it's kind of like praying or having sex, in that the temptation to be a little bit fancier, not that I've, for the camera, but anyways, I've got 30 minutes and we'll see what comes out. My name is Jack Droppers. I typically play in a 6-piece rock and roll band called Jack Droppers and the Best Intentions, and I have until lunch to write a song. Let's get started. Alright, so let's start by just figuring out what it is we want to write. So typically when I write, I will have some sort of idea or line in my head, and I have really pushed myself to not have that. So I'm just going to call this launch for now, and let's pick a key that we want to sing in. Something particularly easy. Let's do A. And yeah, a lot of time when I'm actually writing, I don't necessarily sit down with a blank canvas and start. It's usually a voice memo from my phone that I recorded on my way to work, or it's a notes app note of writing down the idea. So this is a little bit of an odd thing. So let me just figure out what I want to write about. I have been wanting to do, we're working on this, Americana record right now, and there's not really a, a 4 on the floor, kind of, thinking, cruising through hills, in your, late 80s, early 90s F-150, that sort of song. So maybe there's something there. With just that style of 4 on the floor, Alright, I feel like there's like a... Do you want to go right down? Na, 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 na. So let's just start off with that sentence, do you want to go? And see what comes out. Do you want to go down to the river so deep and just plop in our feet? Watch the whole world disappear. Do you want to spend the night just wasting away like the breaking of day and the world is so I don't like there's so many river songs that I'm gonna just end up going into like a Springsteen motif if I keep the word river in there. So let's cut river. So do you want to go to maybe it could be about there's this hill in Grand Rapids where I live that my friends who grew up here, I didn't grow up here, called Makeout Hill, and it's like this spot that like oversees the city. And so maybe it's like this song is about this country kid wanting to go to the city and see that. So yeah, maybe. Do you want to go down to the city with me? That could be a line. Do you want to go down to the city with me? We can sit on that hill. Yeah. This is an awkward rhyme, so let's see if it works. Do you want to go down to the city with me? Under the tall oak tree, up on Lookout Hill. We can take time counting all the buildings. We could spend the night, maybe we could spend the night. We could spend the night staring down at the buildings. We could spend all night staring down at the buildings with a fountain just lit up. I want it to rhyme with hill, don't I? To kind of like close that thought. Man, 8 minutes has gone by. That's wild. We could spend all night sitting at the buildings. There's this line in this children's book that I've read called The Barnabas Project. My daughter loves it, where they describe the buildings in New York City as mountains lit with their own stars. So I'm like circulating that idea in my head of like could I tie that in without being a clear ripoff, and I don't know. We could spend all night. Alright, we could spend all night staring down at the buildings. I could just say those mountains of stars. The mountains. Mountains of stars shining. That could work. Do you wanna go down to the city with me? Sit under the tall oak tree up on Lookout Hill. We could spend all night staring down at the buildings, the mountains of stars shining. The silence is a thrill. I don't wanna know. It's gonna go up to that. Okay, I feel good about that verse. Now, what is the narrator trying to say? This is the awkward thing about songs, is that like sometimes if you're doing something that's in your own voice, maybe you have a point that you're trying to make, and when you're doing it in a narrator's voice, like you're trying to evoke this feeling, and I don't know what the feeling is yet. I don't know this character or this caricature of myself. Do you want to go down to the city with me? Sit under that tall oak tree up on Lookout Hill. We could spend all night just staring down at the buildings, mountains of stars shining. Your silence is a thrill. I don't wanna walk with myself. Hey, nobody else. There's something there. I don't wanna go there all by myself. But there's nobody else. Let me just write down my notes so I'm not losing them. Do you wanna go down to the city with me? Sit under the tall oak tree up on Lookout Hill. We could spend all night staring down at the buildings, the mountains of stars shining. That silence is a thrill. I don't wanna spend it all in a way. I don't wanna lose it, but it's all I gotta say. I don't wanna tell you, but you already know the time. Alright, so what if we did do that 3 times, and we just held out that A minor 7. 'Cause I don't wanna tell you what you already know. I don't wanna hold up your eyes. I don't wanna live in a world without love. I just wanna know now. Okay. Just because in the interest of time, because we're already halfway through, let's just write down something for this chorus. This is, as a songwriter, this is the thing that I struggle with probably more than anything is choruses and melodies. I find that the verses I can just crank out as many verses as one would need, but when it comes down to like something that like is memorable, I ain't that good at it. Let's get some thinking juice. Alright. I don't want to tell you what you already know. I don't want to hold up the night. But if you're interested in taking it slow, you can have your time. Ooh, I like that. I don't want to tell you. I don't want to tell you what you already know. What you... I already lost it. I don't want to tell you what you already know. I don't want to waste your time. But if you want to watch the night move slow, I'll give you all of mine. I don't want to waste your time, but... Alright, let's just see what we got so far. Do you want to go down to the city with me? Sit under that tall oak tree up on Lookout Hill. We could spend all night staring down at the buildings, the mountains of stars shining, the silence is a thrill. But I don't want to tell you what you already know. I don't want to waste your time. If you want to watch the night move slow, I'll give you all of mine. Alright, now on to the second verse. I feel medium about what we have so far. I was having this conversation with somebody about maybe it's because I'm thinking about F-150s. I saw this. There's this like old F-150 that's was parked on the side of the road that someone was selling that was just beautiful, and I do not know enough about cars and how to fix them to like invest in this. But it was this like light cream blue stripe with like a white stripe in the middle, and the Waxahachie record where she's in the back of the F-150, except I think that one's yellow. It was like the exact same like model and make, but instead of the yellow it was like this cream blue. And so I was talking with a friend about it. My dad had this I think it was a Ford Ranger that was in a similar era, and it was kind of a junker and wouldn't start all the time. Maybe 50% of the time it would start. But it had one of the bench seats, which like to a high schooler, like it was just like a make-out couch on wheels. So I don't want like there to be this make-out couch in the song, but I feel like something about the bench seat like feels there's something about like this bench seat that I want to put. So I got like there's a bench seat in my hand-me-down truck. Oh, dang it. If you put the word truck in there, there's just like so few rhymes with truck they would fit the theme of a bench seat that wouldn't just distort the entire meaning of what I'm wanting the song to feel like. I guess luck, we could use luck. So, there's a bench seat in Miami down truck, but I'm all out of luck. Oh wait. So maybe it's like, there's a bench seat in a Miami down truck, and if we get a look, whether it will start, and if we're stuck there, we could wait all night, just watch the clouds float by. There's a bench seat in a Miami down truck. Maybe I'd use the bench seat line for later. Man, I got it. 8 minutes. All right. Second verse. What am I gonna say? Whether it will start. Start and park. It's a loose rhyme, but it's gonna have to work. I pick you. Just give me a couple minutes so I can pick you up in Miami down truck. Depending on if it will start, if it starts. If it decides to start, that's a good idea. If it decides. It's gotta be. This is where it'd be helpful to know like terminology about cars. So give me 20 minutes and I'll come. Give me 20 minutes for me to pick you up in my hand-me-down truck. That is if it will start. It's got a bench seat and a couple sleeping bags, so if we get stranded there, we can just live where we park. There's something there. There's alright. There's a bench. It's got a bench seat. Give me 20 minutes to pick hand-me-down truck. That is if it will start. This is becoming way more of a country song than I had intended it for it to be, but it is what it is. It's got a bench seat and some or a couple sleeping bags, maybe a couple sleeping bags. So if the engine lags, so if the what could be a rhyme with bag? Maybe it doesn't have to rhyme there. We can just like lose the rhyme. So if the ignition something. So give me 20 minutes to pick you up in my hand-me-down truck. That is if it will start. It's got a bench seat and a couple sleeping bags. If the ignition returns, we'll just live where we park. I don't wanna waste your time. I don't wanna tell you what you already know. I don't wanna waste your time. But if you wanna watch the night move slow, I'll give you all of mine. Alright. So if the ignition back to maybe just lags. It's a bad word. I know it's a bad word, and it would be one of those words that I just keep in the song, and if this song actually goes anywhere, which who knows, I would come to the studio and I'd just be like, I hate that this word is in the song, and I would change it every time that I would cut a vocal track. But alas, that's what I got now. Alright, there should be some sort of bridge. So let's just see what we got. Do you want to go down under the tall oak tree up on the I know that you I don't want to tell you what you already know. I don't want to waste your time. But if you want to watch the night move slow, I'll give you all of mine. That might be it. That might be the song, because I'm realizing I'm at 30 minutes. So let's all right, I'm realizing that the camera cut off, and hopefully you got most of that. But either way, here is Bench Seat as it was just written. We'll see if this is any good. Let me pull my mic in here. Do you want to go down to the city with me? Sit under the tall oak tree up on the lookout here. We could spend all night staring down at the buildings, the mountains of stars shining, the silence is a
thrill. I don't wanna tell you what you already know. I don't wanna waste your time. But if you wanna watch the night move slow, I'd give you all of mine. Give me 20 minutes to pick you up in my hand-me-down truck. That is if it will start. It's got a bench seat and a couple sleeping bags, so if that ignition lags, we'll just live where we park. I don't wanna tell you what you already know. I don't wanna waste your time. But if you wanna watch the night move slow, I'd give you all of mine. I'd give you all of mine. And there you go. It's time for lunch. Thanks for hanging out with me. If you want to watch or listen to some non-country songs, just check out Jack Droppers and the Best Intentions wherever you find music. Peace.